On many Pacific islands during World War II, Japanese soldiers believed they understood their enemy. They expected American infantry to rely on slow planning and heavy logistics before launching major attacks. Instead, they discovered something terrifying. US Marines could call down devastating artillery strikes in as little as 90 seconds. The first time Japanese troops experienced this capability, confusion quickly turned into fear. Patrols that believed they had located isolated Marine positions suddenly found themselves trapped under explosions raining from unseen guns miles away. There were no warning signs, except a Marine speaking calmly into a field radio. Within moments, the sky screamed with incoming shells. Positions carefully prepared over weeks could be destroyed in less than 2 minutes. Japanese officers struggled to understand how such speed was possible. Their own artillery coordination often required runners, maps, and lengthy approval from commanders. American firepower seemed almost supernatural by comparison. Marines did not need large formations to unleash destruction. A single forward observer could bring the power of an entire artillery battalion onto one small patch of jungle or hillside. This technological and tactical advantage became one of the most decisive factors in the Pacific War. For Japanese troops used to fighting close-range battles, the sudden arrival of artillery within 90 seconds created a psychological shock that would haunt them throughout the war. The secret behind the Marines' deadly speed was the forward observer. These specially trained Marines operated at the front lines, often crawling through mud, jungle roots, and shattered coral ridges to reach observation points. Equipped with binoculars, maps, and portable radios, forward observers had the authority to request artillery fire immediately. They did not need to wait for complex orders from distant headquarters. Once an enemy position was spotted, coordinates could be calculated quickly and transmitted directly to artillery batteries waiting offshore or inland. Forward observers trained relentlessly to estimate distances and angles even under fire. They memorized terrain features and learned how to adjust fire shell by shell until rounds struck exactly where needed. Many forward observers worked only a few hundred yards from Japanese positions, risking sniper fire and sudden ambushes. Yet their presence ensured Marines never fought alone. Japanese soldiers often believed they had isolated small Marine patrols, only to discover those patrols were connected to overwhelming firepower. The speed and precision of Marine observers turned artillery into an extension of infantry weapons. Instead of distant support, artillery became a constant companion in every engagement. The forward observer system transformed battlefield tactics and gave Marines a level of responsiveness unmatched by most armies of the era. American radio technology played a crucial role in making 90-second artillery strikes possible. Portable field radios allowed Marines to communicate instantly across miles of rugged terrain and open ocean. These radios were designed to be durable and reliable even in the harshest Pacific conditions. Salt water, humidity, and heat destroyed much equipment, but Marine radios were constantly maintained and protected. Operators trained to assemble antennas quickly and maintain clear signals despite interference from weather and terrain. Japanese forces often relied on field telephones, connected by wires, which could easily be cut by bombardment or patrols. Messenger runners were also commonly used, but runners took precious time and often never reached their destinations. By contrast, a Marine observer could press a transmit button and speak directly to artillery command. Coordinates were transmitted using standardized formats that minimized confusion. Fire direction centers processed the information rapidly and relayed commands to gun crews. Within moments, artillery tubes were loaded and aimed. The combination of dependable radios and disciplined procedures allowed Marines to respond faster than Japanese commanders thought possible. The battlefield became connected by invisible signals traveling through the air, allowing Marines to react with devastating speed whenever enemy movement was detected. Another key element in rapid Marine artillery support was the presence of powerful warships offshore. Battleships and cruisers anchored beyond the horizon provided heavy guns capable of destroying fortified positions. These ships remained on standby, ready to fire at a moment's notice. Naval gunfire support worked in close coordination with Marine observers on land. Once coordinates were transmitted, shipboard fire control teams quickly calculated firing solutions. Massive naval guns could deliver shells weighing hundreds of pounds onto targets miles inland. Japanese defenders often believed naval bombardment would occur only before major landings. Instead, Marines could summon naval artillery during routine engagements. A patrol encountering resistance could request fire support and receive devastating bombardment within minutes. The sudden arrival of shells from unseen ships created panic among defenders. Underground bunkers shook violently as explosions tore through surrounding terrain. Naval artillery also allowed Marines to strike positions unreachable by land-based guns. Steep ridges, jungle valleys, and hidden cave entrances could all be targeted with precision. The constant threat of naval fire forced Japanese troops to remain concealed, limiting their ability to maneuver. Warships became floating artillery batteries, extending marine firepower far beyond the shoreline. Speed was not accidental, it came from intense training. Marine artillery teams practiced communication drills repeatedly until every step became automatic. Forward observers rehearsed calling fire missions using standardized language and procedures. Each transmission followed a precise structure that ensured gunners understood instructions immediately. Fire direction centers drilled continuously to calculate trajectories without delay. Gun crews trained to load shells rapidly and adjust elevation with mechanical precision. These exercises took place long before Marines entered combat. Training emphasized the importance of reducing time between spotting a target and firing the first shell. Officers understood that quick artillery support could save infantry lives. Mistakes were corrected harshly because delays could mean defeat on the battlefield. By the time Marines reached Pacific Islands, artillery coordination had become second nature. Observers could transmit coordinates even while under enemy fire. Gun crews reacted instantly upon receiving commands. This disciplined preparation allowed artillery missions to begin within 90 seconds, under favorable conditions. Japanese forces rarely encountered such efficiency elsewhere. The combination of planning and practice gave Marines a decisive edge in nearly every engagement. Japanese doctrine emphasized aggressive infantry attacks and close combat. Commanders expected battles to be decided by courage and determination at short distances. Heavy artillery was certainly used, but coordination often required lengthy preparation. Japanese officers assumed American artillery would be slow to respond once Marines moved inland. Instead, they encountered instant retaliation whenever they revealed their positions. Defense. Ives strongpoints designed to repel infantry assaults were vulnerable to rapid bombardment. Machine gun nests that opened fire could draw artillery within minutes. Mortar crews setting up weapons often found themselves targeted before firing many rounds. Japanese troops learned that any movement risked attracting artillery fire. This forced them to remain hidden for long periods, reducing their effectiveness. Surprise attacks became difficult when Marines could respond so quickly. Japanese plans based on infiltration